So growth mindset is really an opportunity for the kids to reach their full potential, and it's more than a tick box exercise. It's really just a whole way of being and a whole cultural change that the kids can really reach their full potential and be all they can be, really. So I had a third year biology class, mixed ability, and they were working really, really hard and they were enjoying the biology. The knowledge was coming, they were studying, they were giving me great answers. But what happened was we have problem solving, and it's part of the biology course. And whenever we came to problem solving, which was graphs or conclusions, the kids had a block where they said, this is maths, we can't do maths. And that's where I thought, I think growth mindset might be something that might work really good for these kids, because their knowledge was up here and they were doing so well, but what was dragging them down was their block on problem solving. So what we did is, at the very start, I did a pre-survey, and I gave them a graph question, I gave them a conclusion question, what would be deemed problem solving in biology, and I gave them one question to do, and then I gave them an option, and I said, right, your second question, you can do the easier question or you can do the harder question. And actually, most of them opted for the easier question because they knew they would get it right. And then after that, what we did is we said, right, let's learn about this. So we investigated growth mindset, we learned about the neuroplasticity of the brain, we watched videos, we started changing our language, we started reframing negatives into positives. We started thinking about, okay, I can't do that yet because I don't have the strategies and the tools.
I wouldn't really get help. I was quite fixed, I was pretty, when you don't think about it because you always kind of think, oh, I'm open, but when you actually then do growth mindset, you realise how you were actually quite fixed and you just kind of didn't get help, kind of thing like that. So definitely before I was quite just kind of strict about not asking anyone for help.
We started learning that, see, if you make mistakes, it's the best learning opportunity you're going to get. It's how you get better. So what we did as well is, when we were marking, and everything's about what mark did I get, where's all the red crosses, I got that wrong and that wrong, we got rid of that. And what we did is, when something was wrong, we put a smiley face with a GO in the eyes, because it was a growth opportunity. And we were trying to change the culture that the expectation was, when you get something back, you're not looking for a mark, you're looking for your growth opportunities. So you're looking for your smiley faces because they're a positive thing.
It made it better than having just a big X, because you just felt as if you could just try again. Like, that wasn't completely wrong, but you just had to change bits about it.
I feel like I was quite not stuck up, that kind of way you're like, my way is even if it doesn't work, you're kind of like, you don't want other people's help, but you definitely, you want to get it right. So after growth mindset, it just definitely helps to kind of ask other people and just kind of that, yeah.
I saw a change where the pupils were saying, I can't do this, to, what are you doing for that? Looking at strategies, asking each other, but willing to sit and struggle and know that if it's easy and I can do it really quick, I already know it and I'm not learning anything. Whereas if I'm sitting struggling and thinking about it and thinking, what can I do? Right, I can ask myself, I can ask my friend, I can ask the teacher, I can look at that example. So we came up with a list called What to Do If You Don't Know What to Do. And they came up with that themselves. Some of them call them I'm stuck strategies, but that became part of our normal culture as well. Long term, the kids are willing to make mistakes. They're willing to be wrong because they recognise, this is not a bad thing. This is such a good thing. If I'm wrong, I'm learning. So we talked about failure and what is fail. First attempt and learning miss. We talked about marvellous mistake makers, and one of the tasks they actually did, and it came up in the classroom, that somebody was just talking about Beyonce, and they were saying about how she was unsuccessful, but she didn't give up and she struggled. And so we came up with the kids coming up with quite a few celebrities and how struggle and failure kind of leads to success. At the very end of our project, what we did is we gave another survey, and I called it the post survey, and the kids did the question, and then they were offered, do you want to do an easier question or do you want to do a more difficult question? Most of them tried the more difficult question. and they were to give a reason why. Now initially, most of them picked the easy question and they said, because I know I've got the answer right, because I know I can do it, because I'm not good at maths. And then at the end, most of them tried that difficult question because they knew the easy question. They wanted to challenge themselves. They wanted to see how far they could get through it. So it was just such a lovely change in their perception, what they were willing to try, and their actual results were better. So it was beautiful.
It helps me a lot because then just doing hires and stuff, you just feel as if it's just completely different from National 5s. So you just feel as if using that, it just gives you improvement, I would say.
Well, I still think with a lot of things like maths, I'm not the smartest, but I'm doing higher. But I've kind of made a comeback in my class, but definitely asking people in the class for help and the teacher definitely helps. Because if you don't, you know what I mean, how can you be sure on anything? But without growth mindset, I don't know if I would have been confident enough to actually just ask folk.